Hi, Psychic Cynthia here. Welcome, welcome, fellow spiritual psychic adventurer and fellow traveler on the path, brother and sister. Let's talk about if you have a crazy maker in your life. Is somebody still crazy making? Undoubtedly, yes. You might have noticed that uh, crazy makers are there. Do you have somebody draining your energy or trying to drain your energy, intruding upon your boundaries? This is something that happens, and you might think that the more, maybe you meditate, you get your stuff together, you won't attract those people anymore. That's not true. And let me tell you why that's not true. You might attract less, simply because you might happen to be in less spaces where the crazy makers are at. But crazy makers and energy drainers, if you want to call them psychic vampires, you can. That might be a particular class of these types of crazy makers, but these types of individuals, they're looking for people that they can siphon energy off of. So they are attracted to very strong, high vibration giving types because they can see your light, they can see your caring, and frankly, they can see you have some extra energy to give. Why would they want to try to siphon energy off another crazy maker? In fact, one of the ways you could get rid of a crazy maker, this is extreme, okay? But if you wanted to pretend to be a crazy maker yourself, try this. Try telling your own problems to a crazy maker. If you actually have like a crazy time, and we all do, no matter how put together you are, no matter how much you meditate, the forces of decay can come in temporarily. Try telling, the crazy maker about your problems you're having at work or with finances or whatever, or where you feel, not so good or out of control. They'll leave. They don't want to hear it. Okay. So actually, that's a weird tip, but it's true. if you've exhausted everything else, but my intention for you is for you to have, as much balance and strength as you can in your life, and hopefully not have to have so much chaos. But yeah, it's there sometimes. So, but we don't need to add to it by, getting enmeshed in the web of a crazy maker. There is a difference between having temporary chaos in your life or challenges or struggles, even your own inner craziness temporarily. There's a difference in that than a person who has a, you might say, not just a personality profile, yes, but an energy pattern of being an energy drainer, of being a psychic vampire, a pattern of, taking. That's what we're talking about, taking. But let's be more specific here. These crazy makers, what they're going to do is what they like to do, and it's what they're good at. They are good at stealing, commanding your time, your energy, physical energy, spiritual energy, mental energy. They're good at commanding your attention. They're especially good at that. They're great at getting attention. You might say they're drama queens or kings often. But let's be more specific. They're great at getting attention. They want to steal the attention, always to them. They want to steal your money. They're not going to maybe rob you. They don't have to rob you. They manipulate. Okay, they get you to give it to them. And, especially if you are a high vibrating person, if you are a giver, if you walk in the light, if you come from a loving heart, if you really care deeply, and probably if you are all those things or any of those things, you just assume everyone else is that way. And how, if they ask you for help, you don't even question that they would have anything less than pure intentions. But it's not that you need to become paranoid, okay? It's not that you need to become cynical, but it would be useful to learn to recognize a crazy maker. So these are some of the ways. Just think of the people who are always creating chaos. They're always creating controversy. They're stirring up things. They want your attention. They're draining your energy, your time. They ask for your money. Does this sound like, almost sounds like politicians to me, just in general. But we're talking about your personal life here, okay? So think about the people that you encountered. It might not be somebody you know well, but I do find in every family there is one. In every spiritual circle, there's at least one, okay? Um, so, you know, what can you do about this? Because if you have this going on, you know that it is challenging. And the thing is, they won't stop. They won't stop it, okay? The only thing that stops them from draining you is when you have nothing left to give. So they won't stop stealing and demanding your energy, your time, your attention, and your money until you have nothing else left to give. And then they'll discard you, okay, and move on to the next. And that just doesn't sound healthy for anybody involved, does it? I mean, that just doesn't sound like something you should encourage or that you want to be part of, and it certainly doesn't feel good, does it? So how do you stop the cycle? And I've been making some videos about this and different things, and you know, of course we talk about psychic protection, but it's so much more than like putting up a psychic shield, okay? That's not going to be enough, because here's the thing. I mean, yeah, you should be practicing shielding daily, I think, or at least a few times a week. That's just a good practice. It's like brushing your teeth, okay? But that's not going to protect you from these crazy makers in and of itself. That can be auxiliary part of it. You know, I think one of the things shielding can do is make you invisible to new crazy makers. But some of these crazy makers are highly psychic and intuitive themselves, so they're very good at spotting potential victims. You do need to know that. So shielding alone is not enough. I mean, you can have very strong shields. But if you give your attention to a crazy maker, I mean, all you have to do sometimes is look at a social media post by them. That's why if I see people, they might even be people, you know, I'm friendly with, that I care about, but if I see them starting to go into the really dramatic, you know, post on social media, I unfollow for a while. I disengage. Because I don't need to give my energy and attention to the crazy making. Do you understand? Now, if it's just somebody having a hard time, that's different, okay? But you know the difference when you see a crazy maker, because you can feel them. I think the main difference is you feel them pulling on you for your attention, pulling on you for your money, pulling on you. They want you to do things for them. It's all about them, okay? And that's why, you know, another way you can test it, like with what I said earlier, start to tell them about your problems. Do they show any empathy? If they're a crazy maker, they will not care, okay? Because they don't care. I mean, this may be hard to hear, but if you have an energy drainer, a psychic vampire, a boundary invader, crazy maker in your life, you are food for them. That's all they care about, is what they can get from you. And you might think that you love them, and I don't know, maybe you do. But their love is more of a, you know, like the love of a cat has for a mouse that it has in its mouth, that it's playing with, it's getting ready to eat. That's, I mean, I know I'm being a little graphic here, but that's what you are to them. You are a mouse in their mouth. And again, you know, they only have use for you as long as you have use for you, and as long as they have use for you, right? They're not here to join with you in a heart chakra loving kind of way. And even though you might want that, you might love this person. It could even be your own child. It could be, you know, a relative. It could, you know, also just be somebody you work with. It could be, you know, a romantic partner, or you want them to be a romantic partner. But you don't really, trust me. I mean, if you understood what the game is all about with them, you wouldn't want that. So you got to pull back your attention from them. And how do you do that? Like, you say, don't give them attention. Well, yes, you can say that, but it's real simple. You've got to find something else to put your attention on. You know, what gives meaning to your life? What gives purpose? What are your goals? What are your priorities even? You know, that's where you want to put your attention. Your goals, your priorities, your purpose, your mission. What's important to you, not what's important to them, not what they want, not what they think you should do, not what they're asking for. Your dreams. are, at least your priorities, your goals. Now, as I'm saying this, I'm sort of operating from an assumption here that you at least have an idea of your priorities or goals. But I know if you've been ensconced in the web of a crazy maker, I mean, if you're caught in the jaws of that crazy making cat person, or I love cats, by the way, but it's a good metaphor. If you're caught in the jaws of the beast of crazy maker, maybe that's a better way to put it, you may not remember what your priorities are. So maybe the first step is to, sit down, get a notebook out, or if you need to talk to a therapist or a counselor, a psychic reader, whoever can help you, a coach, whoever can help you explore what your priorities are. But it can actually start with thinking about, like, what are your priorities for the day? I mean, just simple logistical things, simple mundane tasks. Because if you have a crazy maker in your life, they'll get you off task on that. Before you know it, your laundry's piled up, you forgot to pay your bills, you didn't put your deposits, you didn't transfer them or whatever, all these, oh crap, you forgot to cook dinner because you were busy taking care of the crazy maker's requests. So yeah, sometimes just starting back with those daily priorities can be good, but really get in touch with what gives meaning to your life, what gives purpose. And this is probably its own video, but I just want to say here at the end, what one of my mentors said today in a conversation. We were talking about a particular crazy maker that I deal with in my life sometimes, and have to because of family relations. And, I do a pretty good job at creating space, but I haven't found a way to create total space yet. So we'll see what the future holds. But, I talked about getting realigned, focusing on my priorities, and she said, yes, it's so important. She said, I wrote it down. What did she say? It's important to live your own life. She said, really, that's all you need to do is live your own life. And it's important to live your own life because if you don't, someone else will live it for you. And I think that's it. That is the summation of what it's like when you fall under the spell of a crazy maker. They live your life like it's theirs. They demand all your time and energy or attention, as much as they can get of it, right? And you've got to put it all into doing their bidding instead of living your life. So live your life, And yeah, you can still be a generous, a kind, and caring person, and that includes you. That includes bringing love to you. In fact, that's where it starts. And then from there, you can give, what is left over, okay? Because, I mean, it's just simple math. If you don't give to you, and then there's nothing left for you, then you don't have anything to give to others, right? If you didn't catch that, hit the rewind button and listen to that again, okay? Because that's important, okay? Alrighty, well, I hope this helps you to just move forward on your path, to keep moving forward, because it is one of the dangers as you begin to ascend on your journey, as you begin to come into higher consciousness, as you begin to really get your life together spiritually. It's one of the dangers that the crazy makers will come out. It's a test, in a way. It's a test of your focus, how focused you can stay on your higher mission, your purpose. It's a test of how compassionate you can stay. You can still hold compassion for the crazy makers, and you can also say, I compassionately release you to spirit. That's what I do, because some things simply aren't yours to do. Some things simply aren't yours to carry, and that's part of coming into wisdom. Wisdom on your path of ascension. Knowing what is your fate, you might say your karma, but also your destiny. What is yours? What is your path? And what is not? And, the thing about crazy makers, they really try to pull you into their life, into their path. They need to live their own path. And most of them are here to learn how to do for themselves, too. That's part of their karmic journey. So you wouldn't want to interfere with that, would you? I hope not. You want to allow, you want to have your own path, right? So don't interfere with another's. That's all. Alrighty, well, until next time, I'm wishing you much love and many blessings. Bye.